name is Kanu Jacobsen. I am the host and producer of Real Love Stories and taking live storytelling to different cities. So welcome to this evening. We have a great lineup of storytellers and I'm so excited to see every single one of you here. So without wasting a lot of time, I'm going to go into our first storyteller. Okay, so I'm going to introduce our first storyteller to the stage. Her name is Valerie Charles, Dr. Charles. She's the owner of a company called AAA Promotions and serving the needs of property management since 2001. And by the way, she came all the way from Sacramento, California.
Turn it down.
A fun fact about her, and you will see this throughout the stories where I talk about a fun fact and then their favorite song. So a fun fact about Valerie is that when she was 6 years old, she was in a Bluebird troupe, and so was a guest on the Rambling Roadshow, which was a morning children's television program in Oregon. And she won the Smiling Contest. So her song that she picked is You Too, Where the Streets Have No Name. So please help me welcome Valerie Charles to the stage.
I'm really excited to be sharing my story with you tonight. And my story actually begins in April of 2015. And it was a pretty typical Saturday. I was at home in Washington State. I was living with my 2 younger children. And it was a pretty normal day for me at that time of my life. I was working on my dissertation, trying to get through that. I had been divorced for about 4 years. And I had dated somebody after divorce, and that relationship had ended about a year before that. So on Saturdays and Sundays when I was working on my paper, I would rarely take a break from my computer. So I knew if I stepped away, I would not want to come back on a nice Saturday or Sunday afternoon. So I would go on to Facebook. And so this particular Saturday, I was cruising on Facebook, and I was reminded of a conversation that I had with a friend about a month before that. And we were talking about this boy from back in the day named Joel. And I said, I really always liked him. I thought highly of him. He was a great guy. I wonder what he's up to now. And I said I should look him up on Facebook sometime. So that Saturday, I decided I would do a search and look him up, and there his name was. So I clicked the button, the friend request button, and within a couple of minutes, I got a notification saying that my request had been accepted. And so I was pretty excited because I didn't even know if he would have remembered me. We didn't go to the same high school or anything. So about, probably several hours had passed and I was taking another break. And so I thought, well, I'll just message him and just say hi and check in and just tell him, I had some great memories of you, hope all is well kind of thing. And I did that. It was at 12:58 p.m. And who would have known that at that moment, that click of the button, my life would have changed dramatically. So within minutes of me sending that message, Joel actually responded back, and then we began conversing throughout the day. He was actually on a fishing trip with his dad, and so he was messaging me as they were driving down the road. And so it was really nice to reconnect with him, and it just took me back to this place when I was 16 years old at a baseball game. And I was sitting on the bleachers with my friend, and all of a sudden, somebody plopped down next to me from the bleachers up above, and I look over, and there's this really cute boy sitting next to me. And he opened up his conversation by asking about my big black toenail. Yeah, great conversation starter, right? So he asked what had happened, and I told him I was dusting and I dropped a can of Pledge on my toe. And so he got a big kick out of that, and we talked for a while, and then the game ended and we went our separate ways. And I don't even remember if we exchanged names that day. We might have, I don't remember that. And so we left, and then probably 4 or 5 months later, I had gone out on some dates with this boy named Mike. And Mike invited me over to his house, and so he was new in town. He had just graduated from high school, so I was had just ended my sophomore year when I was at the baseball game. So now I'm starting my junior year in high school. Mike was starting his freshman year at the junior college, and he was a baseball player. And so I was over at his house, and I'm sitting on the couch, and who should walk in the room but this boy from the baseball game that I had met when I was the spring prior to that fall. So he looks at me and he's like, "Oh, you're the girl with the toe from the baseball game." And so we got to know each other over the course of a few months when I was dating Mike, and then Mike and I stopped seeing each other. And so I stopped going over to their house. And one really fun thing about when I met Joel, he had this black lab named Sam. And so I fell in love with Sam, and I worked at Wendy's, and I would bring burgers over to Sam, and not the boys, just the dog. And so Joel he knew I really loved his dog, so he actually asked me if I would take care of Sam this weekend when they went on a tournament for their baseball team. And so that was really exciting. I got the key to their house, and I got to hang out with the dog all weekend. And so all of these memories are coming back, and then when I was 20, so many years had passed, and so over the years I would see Joel at parties, and we would talk and never exchange phone numbers or anything. And then when I'm 20, I'm about ready to move to Arizona, and I'm at a party with the same girl that I was at the baseball game with back when I was 16 years old. And there's Joel, and so she was just enamored with him, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, he's so cute." And I said, "Well, I'll play matchmaker, and I can hook you up with him." So I invited Joel and his friend over, and they stayed until the wee hours of the morning playing pool and talking, and it was really clear that I was trying to get my friend and him together. And I was getting ready to move to Arizona. I didn't have the thoughts of relationships or anything in my mind. And on Joel's way out that evening, he said, "I was really hoping to get to know you better tonight." And my heart just sank because my friend was infatuated with him, and I was getting ready to move. So there was a love connection, and he and my friend dated for 3 years. And I moved to Arizona, and had been there for several years, got married, and I had 3 children, and was living my life. Joel graduated from Oregon State, moved to California, got married, had 2 children, and got another black lab named Rocky. And so our lives just went different directions. And so all of these thoughts are coming to mind. And so we messaged quite a bit that day. The messages continued during the week, and then we exchanged phone numbers, and I'm thinking, I'm not going to call you if you want to talk. And so he moves very slow. And so he started by texting, and we texted for a while, and then the text turned into phone calls, and hours of talking and texting and everything. And this went on for about a month. And then we were talking one night, and he said something about, too bad you don't live closer, because I was in Washington State, he's in California. And I said, "Oh, are you asking me on a date?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." And then he paused, and he's like, we're spending a lot of time together, and clearly there's a connection. So why don't you come down to California, and we'll go out on a date? And I said, "Well, I'll check my calendar." And so I came back with, "I can, do it in a couple of weeks." He's like, "Well, how about next weekend? I don't think that we should wait because we're spending so much time together. Let's see if there's really an attraction." So I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I was really nervous, but my older daughter was living in California at the time. So I thought, well, if it doesn't go well, she can take me to the airport. I'll be with her. It'll be okay. It's safe. And so flew to California, and we had an incredible weekend. It was very magical. He took me out on his boat, and we had crab and wine, and it's under the stars, and so it was very dreamy, fairy tale type thing. And then I had to go home, and it was really sad. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, what am I doing? I don't even want a relationship. I didn't want one until I finished my dissertation, and because I knew dating would be a distraction." And So, we had a great time, and he's like, why don't you come back, not next weekend, but the following weekend. I'm like, okay. So I did, and that ended up being a year and a half of me traveling to California every other weekend. Yeah. And it was amazing. Our relationship was growing, it was wonderful, it was fun, it was magical. And on the other side of all of that, it was also really difficult and challenging and sad and scary and lonely. So Joel, entering his world every other weekend was really difficult because I would feel like I always had to, pick up where I left off, first of all, and I'm meeting his friends, and he has 2 children, and trying to get to know them, and then I'd be gone, and then I'd come back, and so that was challenging in and of itself. And he was also very established in his community, and he was a baseball coach, and had a lot of long-term friendships, and some people really embraced our relationship, and others were not very kind to me. And so it was hard. It was kind of this roller coaster ride. And then it made it more difficult, the fact that he had lost his wife to cancer 3 years prior to us getting together. And he had 2 children at home. They were, at the time that I came into the picture, they were 14 going on 15 and 15 going on 16. When their mother passed away, 2.5, she was sick for 2.5 years, so they were very young when she was diagnosed with cancer. And then they were 11 and 12 when she passed away. So he was a single dad, and was raising these 2 really incredible children on his own, but they didn't want me around. And it was really painful, and I understood, the challenges that they were having, but it didn't really lessen the pain that I was feeling. And so, but we ended up, making it work, and I want to share this really sweet email that he sent, because I would get just so sad sometimes just thinking about, my gosh, I'm investing my heart and my time and energy into this relationship, and it may end in the drop of a hat or something, because if his children aren't on board, how's that going to work out? So it says, hello, my sweet. Sorry you were bumming last night. We were talking about his children and what was happening. He said, weird day. Today feels more normal. FYI, I've had a great time getting to know you again and developing our relationship. It's only gotten better with time. My son's perceptions haven't diminished anything either. You give me a brighter outlook each day. And then he said a little trivia for you. I keep a close watch on this heart of mine. I keep my eyes wide open all the time. Yes. Thank you. And so that's another way that we really connected to is through music, and we played music trivia. So, but he would do really sweet things to reassure me that, I'm in this, and what happens with other people is not going to influence our relationship. And so, like I said, it was a year and a half of long distance relationship. And then I was at a crossroads. I had an opportunity to move to the East Coast to advance my career. And that sounded really exciting. Or I could move to California and be closer to Joel. And so I ended up choosing Joel and moved to California, and we flew to Oregon. We drove the U-Haul down, and I found a cute apartment just a couple exits from the freeway from where he lives. And so now we have been together for 4 years, actually 4.5 years. And our ultimate goal is marriage, and we're working toward that. And we worked really hard on a relationship. We just started the book Steady, and John Gottman book. And so, I don't know what's going to happen. We can't foresee the future, and I just have to keep reminding myself of that, because I try to analyze and assess and predict, and what's going to happen, and what does my future have in store, and of course nobody knows. But what I do know is that I'm just so grateful that I've had this time with him. He's an incredible man, and just a really, really good-hearted person. And So whatever direction we end up going, I know that I'll just be thankful that I, hit that button at 12:58, sent that message, and connected with him. And the good news is that now his children and I have a nice relationship. It's, we're still working on it, and so we'll see how that ends up. But I'm very thankful, and thank you so much, Kanu, for inviting me here to share my story with everybody. Thank you.